Welcome to Burning Questions, the interview series where we get real with B2B tech leaders while asking 10 questions and eating spicy food. I'm your host, Daniel Rodriguez, and today I'm joined by Joe Chernov, the CMO of Insight Squared. Joe, thank you so much for coming and being brave enough to be here.
I was going to thank you, but I'm not sure I'm going to thank you until the end. So let's see how spicy this is.
All right, great. Well, we know, just as a refresher, you're going to spin this wheel before each of the questions that I ask. We will then together go down this dangerous journey. And if you are brave enough to complete it, you're playing for a prize that you can then give to somebody else.
Okay.
So who are we going to be playing for today?
L. Wolf at Lookbook.
Excellent.
Actually, just rebranded the company Path Factory.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to send Alyce off during this interview to find some great gift options based on Elle's interests.
Okay.
And at the end, then you'll get a chance to choose from which of the gifts Alyce finds.
Sounds good.
All right. Let's get real. Spin the wheel.
This is the closest I've ever come to Price is Right.
I think of it as like a Wheel of Fortune thing. That's true. It is the vertical wheel. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Right to the top?
Pretty much, yeah. So this one's here. Time's up. Mustard-based sauce. Let's grab a nug.
There's
mind.
Literally the Grim Reaper is on the...
Yeah, that's because it's with Carolina Reaper peppers. Oh. So there is like a death theme.
Are you going to get a sponsor? One of these guys going to sponsor next?
Well, we'll see. The audience we're going to bring in here just with you alone.
Let me see the quantity. I want to make sure that you're not cheating me.
Yeah. All right. So you grew up in this area?
I grew up outside of Providence, Cranston, Rhode Island.
What's a memory that you have, early memory you have from growing up?
Gosh, my brother's going to kill me for saying this. I remember, I don't know why this is the first thing that came to me, but I remember going upstairs. I shared a bedroom with my brother, and he was just in a spontaneous good mood. And he kicked off his shoe just enthusiastically. And I saw the shoe fly across the room and go right through the window. And it was like October, it was around Halloween, and the curtains were blowing, it was fall in New England. And he just said, I'm going to bed. And he just got in bed and was going to call it a night with the curtain blowing and everything. We obviously had to take care of the window, but he just didn't want to deal with the aftermath of that.
Unbelievable.
I don't know why that was the first thing that came to me, but it was the first thing that came to me.
That's amazing. How old were you when that happened?
Oh gosh, I was probably 10. He was 12.
Yeah.
Maybe he was 10 and I was 8, somewhere in that range.
So old enough to know that the parents are going to come down on that one.
Yeah, I will. Well, so he went in bed. I came downstairs for dinner. And he wasn't going to go to bed at 6 o'clock. I came downstairs for dinner and they asked where Matthew is. And I just I was trying to contain myself and I said, he's in bed, but I kept chuckling. And so they knew something was up. And there was this slow march up the stairs to see what was going on. Open the door and the curtains are blowing. It was very dramatic.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. All right. And what did you think of that one?
I thought that was good.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was good.
All right, so I think we're going to be in a good place if that was. The dip was a little light, but
yeah,
we'll see if you want to amp it up for the audience. Show them it's early.
Start to show off around Crescent 6.
Question 2, go ahead.
All right, does it have to go all the way around?
It's whatever spin you want, and then
there was always the big guy that would try to do
go
it 50
forever.
times.
It's yeah. We don't want to break the thing. All right, the habanero pickles. And over here. Just use your hands here.
Oh, it's literally, I don't have to dip it, the pickle itself.
Pickles is right there. All right. What did you want to be when you were growing up?
How many pickles did you eat?
I just have, these aren't bad.
No, these are pretty good.
And tasty. They're not super spicy.
What? It's really more like who. I wanted to be Steven Tyler. I thought he was the coolest. Right around that same time, when my brother kicked off the shoe, I remember school pictures. They would there was an era where they would do a face shot and then a silhouette shot, kind of overlaid in the corner of the photo.
Yes.
And so I sucked in my cheeks like Steven Tyler because he was always sort of like gaunt, and I was like in the picture, and I was outside the window and I was showing it to my friend. I said, "Hey, I look like Steven Tyler in this picture," and my father was inside. He goes, "You don't look anything like Steven Tyler."
Do you have really this picture?
It's got to be in an album.
It's got to be.
somewhere.
If you can dig this up, we will put this in the notes. Right. We will show it to you, or we will put it on the screen. Even better yet.
And they will say that kid really did look like Steven Tyler.
I want people to vote on this question whether
yes
or not
no?
they actually believe that you look like Steven Tyler.
I'll ask my mom to rifle through some old photo albums.
Okay, good. All right,
and I'll just pull out the picture that I look like Steven Tyler.
Yeah, she'll know exactly.
She'll know just which one.
Oh yeah, that terrible picture from school. Okay. All right, great. Well, Steven Tyler, spin the wheel.
Imagine if you watch this.
Question 3. All right, Ghost of the Opry hot sauce. So that is this one right here. Oh no, I'm sorry, we switched these around. This one right here.
Okay.
And we'll dip a nug.
What have you done for vegetarians?
Well, we haven't had any vegetarians actually yet on the show, but we'll do something. There's like tofu nugs, that we'll get for people.
Nugs. You're the
nuggets,
first person I met that called
I don't know. Nugs. We're legalizing marijuana soon, so I should just call everything nugs.
How's this? A little cowardly?
You can do more than that. Okay. This one's good, but all right. Looking on LinkedIn, looks like your first job out of college or one of your first jobs, account coordinator at Citygate Cunningham.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that experience. What did you learn from that experience?
Relationships are everything. So I was changing careers, and I had worked in human services before. And I decided I didn't want to do that anymore, and I was going to work in PR. Why? I don't know. I just sort of arbitrarily picked it. And I literally went from PR firm to PR firm with a copy of my resume and a writing sample in my hand. And I knocked on doors, and I hand delivered it. And I said, are you hiring? And everybody asked me to leave, and except for one company. And they said, well, we have an intern program. I said, when could I start? They said, no, you've got to apply. I said, you have to apply to be an intern? So fast forward, I got in the internship, and I went to a party. There was like an intern welcoming party. I was talking to somebody at the party. And as it turned out, we read all the same books. There was a time in my life that I had time to read novels. And she said, would you like a full-time job? I sort of punch her in the shoulder. So yeah, you could give me a job. I thought she was part of the intern program. And she said, do you know who I am? I run the office. And lo and behold, she did. And she gave me a job.
There you go. And you haven't looked back. That was a trajectory thing. I mean, you were kind of...
It actually it got better from there. She really took me under her wing and was a major factor in shaping the trajectory of my career. She was she was a gift. Woman, Melinda Benash. Melinda. She was a real godsend for me.
Yeah, there it is. Shout out to Melinda. That's fantastic. All right. What'd you think of that one?
I liked the flavor of the other more.
Time's Up. Great flavor. Yeah. It's like a South Carolina barbecue style with a mustard base.
I would actually eat that one, where this is just a hot sauce.
That's just a hot sauce. Okay, interesting. Curious if you land on this one, because that one's. Well, I'll just leave it at that.
This is a little Paul Revere theme.
Yeah. All right, question number 4, or no, question number 5. That was question number 4. No, this is question number 4. Just kidding. Spin the wheel. Question number 4.
Numbers are hard.
Numbers are difficult. So you like our decor?
I do. I feel like I'm on the set of Stranger Things. This looks kind of like the that web that.
I haven't seen it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. I just haven't seen it.
How is this possible?
I'm sorry.
Watch it and you'll get the reference.
Okay.
Your audience is going to get the reference, and they're going to say that guy's right.
Okay. All right.
Did we just do this one?
We did. So we could do it again, or you can spin again.
I'm going to spin again.
Okay. I actually like the taste of that one. It's like a barbecue-y, like a tomato brown sugar barbecue.
Which I didn't like that. Oh,
jerky. All right. What? Here we go.
This is not a Phil Beauregard. Shout out to Phil Beauregard jerky. He just had a big Kickstarter for he and his brother are making their own jerky. Local tech guy.
This is from, I forget the name of the place, but not super spicy actually. This is on the chopping block for future episodes. It doesn't it doesn't get us enough. Doesn't, you know. All right, what advice would you give to your 20-year-old self?
I was trying to think of a joke. Honestly, it's going to be really cliche, but I learned it really late, and it's every town, every industry is smaller than you think. Just watch out for those bridges. I can't tell you how many times people from one stage of my career recirculate into another stage of my career, and paths just keep on crossing. I would say be a little more careful of bridges.
Mm-hmm. All right. Question number 5. Spin the wheel.
I'm not getting the sequencing right, am I?
No, you're doing great.
You have to keep instructing me to spin this. I should just know.
No. I mean, it's like, oh, here we go. This is actually, we haven't had too many of these rolls recently. So these are Da Bomb peanuts. They are made with ghost pepper on them, dry roasted nut.
Whoa, you did a handful?
Oh yeah, you should too. All right, this is going back 2012. You'd posted on your, I think it's on your Medium page. We speaks louder than they, and the media tends to be more receptive to internal spokespeople. And you were talking about how it's difficult for a company to outsource its voice. I don't know if you kind of remember this, you know, but wondering if you could kind of elaborate on that and say whether or not you still kind of believe this idea of whether the voice has to come from internally or whether the voice is something that is kind of defined outside of your company and your brand.
This one was hot. And I'm going to have water. I was going to have the milk, but I want to do an infographic of beard length and acceptable foods. And I am beyond the milk level of beard length.
You can't drink the milk.
I can't drink the milk.
We need a straw for you. That's what we need. We don't have one.
Wouldn't that be good, though?
That would be good, yeah. I mean, even the water is falling off of your face. I mean, this is...
Not the most attractive guest.
I actually want you to drink the milk just to watch...
No, we're not going to do that.
The milk mustache form.
I would have declined your offer. All right. This was, so 2012, I'm lucky if I can remember something from 2 weeks ago. 2012 was a time when, like, ghostwriting was being debated. Should executives outsource their own Twitter handle to internal staff or an agency? Is it ethical? Literally, I remember the question, is it ethical for an executive to hire a ghostwriter to write his or her posts? And now applying, so I'm looking for the backdrop of when I wrote that. Applying that backdrop to my statement, basically saying you can't outsource it. Right now, shoot. Now I'm in the real world where I actually have to generate value to the business, and I can't be so academic and so precious about principles like that. If you can get good content, and it's content that's consistent with the brand's ideology, if it's content that's consistent with what the brand stands for, the voice, you're probably the only one that really notices nuance of voice. I can't imagine your audience is like, hey, that one is slightly off voice, or the tone is slightly different in that post than the previous post. I think we pay more attention to it than our audience because we read everything that we write and they read, whatever happens to show up in their feed. So I get where I was coming from on that. I think I don't think it's held up so well.
Interesting. All right, here we go. Question number 6. Yeah. So the nuts are spicy.
They are.
Yeah. They kind of keep going a little bit.
And I copied your handful. I should have just gone with a couple. Oh, this was the one you...
This is the one I was hoping you weren't going to roll. This one's called Wake Up. This is the only item here that actually they've just added capsaicin, which is just the distilled spicy chemical that makes us...
it's literally egregious.
It's just terrible. And as a result, it tastes terrible. Why don't you hand me a nugget? I guess you made me self-conscious about saying nug.
Then my work here is done.
All right. And yeah, I mean... don't be shy, for sure. Don't be shy.
Has anybody just taken a swig?
I would not recommend that. No.
How's this? Excessive?
All right, I'm getting on my computer for this one. In this segment, we are going to show you a few pictures, and they'll be up on the screen so people can see these. And you are going to, these are pictures you posted. Oh, no. And you are going to provide some context for us.
Where did I post these?
On social media, either Instagram or Twitter. So here's the first one.
Oh, man. That was awesome. I loved that day. That's me, my son Samuel, and he likes music. He started drumming when he was 4, and he's sort of like me with music, very serially monogamous with a band. He has not discovered his Steven Tyler phase. I keep trying to do it, and it's not working. But he went through a Kiss phase. And so one day we were at a neighbor had a cookout, and they had a face painter there, and they're doing face paint for, I don't know, like whatever the Disney movie du jour was. And he did Peter Criss, the drummer of Kiss. And so then I saw Kiss was touring, and so I got us some pretty good seats. And I called that face painter, and I said, could you do both of us as 2 members of Kiss? So we went to her house. She did the whole airbrush. We were on our way to the show, and he got hungry, so we had to pull over and eat lunch somewhere. And everybody in the restaurant was looking at us. And went to the show, and it was the best time until it was time to remove the makeup. And it was like 40 minutes while he's exhausted. It's midnight. He's 6 years old, and I'm scrubbing his face trying to get the makeup off. It went a little sideways then. Oh, that was that was not me at my most fit. Goodness gracious. That was at HubSpot Inbound, their big user conference. And Martha Stewart was a guest keynote. She did a really good job. And then some employees got to meet her, and I threw my weight around literally in that picture and was able to get a little backstage pass.
Awesome. Last one.
Oh, certainly not an image that holds up well. This was South by Southwest, and it was. Do
you know how many years ago it was?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Maybe 2011. Probably 2011. That's my best guess.
Okay, we'll verify. We'll put it in the notes.
And somebody there had on Google Glass.
So you didn't own these?
No, I didn't own them. I tried
sure you
to
didn't.
get.
Sure you didn't.
I honestly tried to get a pair. I offered something for them. I forget what I offered them. Like I tried to barter, and
this isn't Burning Man. This is you got to use cash.
Yeah. Well, no, it was a guy's, and I was like, "What can I give you for these?" My God, not my best judgment either. How stupid do they look? It's incredible.
The question was there any interesting information happening in your little Google Glass?
No, I kept having to yell at my glasses to make them do anything, and it was like, show me, I don't even know what I was saying. Like, show me the weather, right? It was just not. It was easier to look at your phone. Okay. Notice how the bartender in the background pays 0 attention to me.
Yeah, that's it's a good way to interact at a singles bar and stay single. I think it's the Google Glass. All right, question number 7. Let's do this.
Okay.
Spin it up. Time's up again.
That was the one. That was the one I liked. Let's do it again.
Okay. A lot of the sauces are rolling today. I don't really know how I feel about that. I'm going to ask you to do more of a dunk than I am here. That's pretty good. How does an account-based approach factor into your go-to-market strategy?
Heavily. Should we spin it now? When I joined Insight Squared, it was at the tail end of like a classic email marketing program where we would get a batch of names. Some of them were inbound, some of them weren't. Ooh, one moment. Hear that one.
It's like a 6-7 second delay.
Yeah, it is.
It's almost like time's up is actually saying like.
It's like a swift kick.
Yeah.
And so I, I'm better now. And so we had this model where it was very efficient. Well, it was very predictable. You get a batch of names. Some of them are inbound, some of them aren't. You email them something. They convert on that something, and they get passed over to sales. And you knew what the yield from that was going to be. The problem was the marginal value of each new name was incrementally worse than the name before it, or else you would have emailed the better name first, right? And so this process had played out for several years. And there was pretty low value in the names we were messaging. So what we decided to do is like zoom way out and say, does this model even make sense for this business? And what we decided to do is take some of the better elements of inbound, that is helpful content, constructive information, useful information, and tie it to an account-based approach where it is outbound. It is all targeted at named accounts. Marketing only gets sort of quote-unquote credit for engaging accounts that sales has pre-committed to try to pursue. And so we try to create this sort of fusion, this like hybrid approach where we run inbound-like programs, but delivered outbound and targeted only at very specific accounts. And Cirrus Decisions, a big analyst firm in this industry, gave us Campaign of the Year for creating a hybrid of inbound and ABM together.
There it is. Congrats.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to follow up with you on that one afterwards. All right. So time's up. Let's not roll that again.
I liked it better the first time.
Yeah. All right. This is question number 8. Here we go. That was good. That was very insightful.
What should I try to land on now? What's the best one here?
We can do the pickles again. It's up to you.
That was kind of easy.
Yeah. Let's give it another spin then. We haven't had either of the salsas. Oh, no, that's true. We had the bomb, right? We did the bomb? No, we had the bomb nuts. That. Ooh, the Cornferno popcorn. That's a good one.
All right.
All right. Have a couple pieces of that. What's the most thoughtful gift you've ever received?
So it's really silly, but I was telling my son, my older son, Sam, I was telling him about an interaction I had with my dad, and I forget how it came up, but it was just a really dumb thing I said to my father once. My father said to me like something about like, when you're older and have your own job, what would you spend your money on? And I can't believe like I gave this imbecilic answer. I said, you know what I've really wanted to do? Maybe I was his age, maybe I was 7 years old. I said, I've always wanted to buy 2 tubes of toothpaste. I want one because I need to brush my teeth. And I want another one because I've always wanted to set one on the ground and jump up in the air on it and land on it and see what happens. And I don't know why I remember that other than like my father looked at me like I was he wasn't super impressed with me at that moment. And so it was my birthday and I got a gift from my son and it was wrapped and it was 2 tubes of toothpaste.
Oh my God.
It was so sweet.
And did you do it?
I did not do it.
You didn't do it?
No, I didn't do it. I really blew that one at the end, didn't I?
I was wondering if it was actually going to make the whole end pop off.
Well, that was sort of my
force of the
I like to believe that that's what I had in mind when I brought that up to my dad.
Yeah, that's great. That's it. Oh, I'd love that. Is such a thoughtful gift. All right, question number 9. Here we go. We're down to the home stretch.
Okay.
What'd you think of the popcorn?
Spicy.
Yeah, it's got a good kick. Go ahead, give it a spin. Yeah, the popcorn. We've had a couple people say it gets up in the nose, kind of. It's got a little.
I agree.
Pickles. Up to you. Golden Daring. What are you hoping?
I want to try one of these.
You want to try one of those? All right. Well, you just got the pickles again.
What number are we on? 8 or 9?
This is number 9.
Then I have to go for it. If it was 8, I would take a break.
There we go. The Reaper salsa. So that's this one right over here. So it's made with Carolina Reaper peppers. So what we'll do is grab a scoop chip. Get a nice chip there, a nice scoopable. There you go. And then this one here.
Do you sit them out ever?
What do you mean?
Do you always participate?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is a journey. We're We're getting real together. We can't get real if I'm just over here putting you on the hot seat alone.
You know, this chip's a little large for the Dixie cup. Just have to
there
wasn't a lot of QA.
You dump the salsa right onto your...
I'm going to go with this.
That one's not formed enough. All right. I think a lot of people would look to you and say, you know, this guy is on the forefront, has been for a long time, of being a content marketing expert. Curious to hear from you kind of what you feel like has been one of the most successful things that you've done from a content marketing standpoint.
Yeah, I'm going to claw back a hit here, quoting the Beastie Boys. Content marketing has sort of gone off the rails when it comes to ego traps, where, like, you know, there's a list of experts and you publish it, and then lo and behold, that list of experts happens to share the list, and now you've sort of jacked their network. We were really early in that. Me, my team at Eloqua, our partners at Just3, and we did this massive ego trap where we call it the social media playbook. And Just3 hired the illustrator that does those like beautiful illustrations for the New Yorker in lieu of a headshot. You know, Andy Borowitz is very famous. And they hired that person to create a custom illustration of everybody, and not just some sort of dime store. Like, this was the guy from the New Yorker. And then we interviewed him and wrote a book. It was brief. And the questions were kind of in the spirit of this, maybe not quite as entertaining, not quite as playful, but they were more day in the life of questions. And so it was intellectually accessible for everyone. And then we did sort of this thunderclap at the end, where I let everybody release their illustrations without saying what they were for. And I remember somebody wrote a blog post saying, why is somebody, maybe it was a tweet, why is somebody animating all of my friends? And everybody wanted to know what all of this animation was about. So it built some anticipation for the final release. And that went over very, very well.
Wow, that's awesome. That's very creative. Cool.
My nose is running.
Yeah, I have the tissue for a reason. All right, this is it. Question number 10. What did you think of the flavor?
I liked it, but I did a small bite, but I liked it.
The bomb salsa. Back to this one over here.
We haven't done that one.
Oh, that's right. We haven't done this. I'm blending all the, because we had the bomb nuts.
Very common nomenclature in
Da bomb.
hot food industry.
Yeah, and you notice there's I think a hazmat symbol here on this.
The theme is death or danger.
The theme is definitely on the life and death scale. We're all the way on the death side. So recently for an article you said, AI still appears to have limited penetration in B2B marketing. Where do you feel like this is going to play out 5 years from now in terms of AI? Is it going to just augment, or are you seeing it replace certain functions within B2B marketing world?
Maybe I'm whistling past the graveyard here. Look at death theme.
Very, very appropriate.
Didn't even plan that one. And but I think it's going to augment. Like, look, marketing automation came around, and automation sounds a lot like replacement, right? And you need now entire teams to run your marketing automation system. You need teams to run HubSpot, which was never considered, still isn't considered like as wonky as some of the more enterprise tools like Eloqua. And yet you need dedicated personnel to run it. Automation created jobs. I think AI will do the same. I think what AI will do is it will sort of nudge people in a direction of a decision. It won't replace decision making, but it will give a heads up or a nudge. It'll like indicate when you might want to do something, when you might want to do something different, how you might want to think about segmentation a little bit differently, how you might want to time something. But it's not 5 years. It's not going to take over the marketing department and all of a sudden start to, we're not going to reach the singularity in 5 years and it's going to start emailing people without human involvement. I think it's going to be a bit of a Sherpa.
Nice. Excellent. Well, thank you, Joe. You've made it. Congratulations. Right. I'm going to just look here for what Alyce was able to dig up for L. All right. So, and you'll be able to see these if I turn the computer over here. But so it shows on Pinterest that she loves gardening.
She does.
So there's a succulent living wall planter kit
That's nice.
that you could get her. She also shows on social media that she loves working out and running.
Okay.
So there's a subscription to ClassPass for Boston metro area, and then she also showed on Pinterest that she is interested in paleo and Whole30 type of eating. So a 6-month subscription to Vegan Snack Box from Vegan Cuts is another option. So it's a snack option.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Do I decide right here and
Yeah,
now?
decide right now.
I'm going to go with the gardening one because she lives remotely. I don't know how often she's going to be able to get into Boston to use ClassPass. She lives out by the water, and so let's go with the gardening one.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and congratulations again for making it all the way through.
Thanks for having me.
All right.